It is Monday, February 25th, 2013, and we are live in the Wall Street Journal newsroom in New York. Welcome to Lunch Break. I'm Wendy Bounds. It was an Oscar ceremony revamped with an edgy new host and plenty of musical numbers. But what do the critics have to say? At the Wall Street Journal, our senior editorial director, Chris Farley, he often has the last word on life and style. So, Chris, let's hear it from you. Was the new Oscar format a bust?
It's the same every year, and this year was no different. The Oscars were way too long. And Seth MacFarlane, some people may find him funny. Some of his humor worked, some of it didn't. Some of it was a little bit, I thought, and he was trying to be naughty, but it came out just so dirty. Like the whole song he did about, I won't get into it. You know what song I'm talking about that he did that went too far. That bit just went on for too long. The bit with William Shatner, it just wouldn't stop.
It's almost like when you talk about Seth MacFarlane, I mean, he made sort of a joke about Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. Would they have been a better? And maybe he was right, some critics are saying. He almost seemed to be trying to be too many things to too many people, to reach the young sort of hip crowd, but then sort of to hit the baby boomers as well. Did you feel that way, Chris?
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Oscars themselves tried to do last night. They tried to please everybody, and they ended up pleasing not as many people as I'm sure they would have liked. For example, Best Picture was Argo. Most of those well-deserved. Best Director was Ang Lee for Life of Pi. A Best Supporting Actress went to Anne Hathaway from Les Mis. So as you see, the trend was to reward as many people as possible from as many movies as possible. It wasn't one dominant James Cameron-like, Titanic, Avatar-like movie to steamroll everything else and to really put their imprint on the year. So as a result, the whole show just a little bit ephemeral and kind of faded away. It didn't come away with the impression of one movie you had to go see.
And what about just the sheer volume of musical numbers? I mean, many of them were very good, but there were so many, and people were wondering, did we actually need a reprise from Chicago? Did you feel they could have cut back a little bit there?
Well, and I always feel more music is better. So if it's good music, I'm all for it. What was surprising to me, though, is that some of the performances you think would have been sharper didn't really come across as sharp as they could have been on television. So they just need to sharpen up the musical performances because no one complains about there being too much music if that music is good music. You saw Barbra Streisand do her first performance from the Oscar stage in 36-some years, performing the way they were. That obviously spoke to the nostalgia crowds. People love her. But I think Seth MacFarlane, his musical number, I keep coming back to that. It just went on too long. It wasn't funny. It was trying to be naughty. Just came across as being dirty. That's one musical number I think they could have cut.
And Chris, what about Michelle Obama, the Michelle Obama factor? I mean, you mentioned the lack of surprises. Having her sort of come in and present an award was a surprise. Did you think it came too late in the program to make a difference?
Yeah, Michelle Obama's appearance at the end of the program really was Hollywood's biggest surprise, maybe since The Sixth Sense, because nobody thought she was going to show up. There wasn't buzz about that happening, and so when she showed up, she genuinely took a lot of people by surprise. Interestingly enough, some of Twitter and the web is really polarized about her appearance, whether a political figure belonged on the stage on such a night of stars. Most of the stars that I saw tweeting about it were like, this is great, this really fits in with what we're doing. I think some of the other conservative blogs were against it. So, whatever the Obamas do is going to end up being controversial on the national stage, and this certainly was as well.
But one of the few surprises last night, as you point out. Chris Farley, thanks so much for being with us. More of our Oscar coverage is online at WSJ.com.